Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Chiang. My topic today is queer, and my interviewee is Jerry Chen. Jerry is a very close friend of mine. We've been double major together since sophomore year. We all come from Chinese literature department. And Jerry has been interested in queer theory and works related to this subject since junior year. He has taken course from NTU, NTNU, and also Shishin University. I think it's really a good opportunity for us to have a discussion over this subject because for him he can introduce this subject by himself, and then we can also learn more knowledge about what queer is. I will also ask some questions about how does he think about LGBTQ groups in Taiwan and his suggestion or reaction to the government about this issue. So Jerry, since our audience are not so familiar with queer writing, can you make a brief introduction to this kind of writing for our audience?
I think before we go to what it means to be queer writing, we need to define what queer means. But paradoxically, if we want to define queer, it's kind of undefinable because, as we all know, queer is alike all the groups of LGBT, but they are not alike LGBT for they don't identify themselves as queer because once you identify yourself as somebody, which means like you belong to a group, but queer doesn't want to belong to anyone because we are talking about the LGBT, which means lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. We all there seems to be a group like people are there's a sign like, oh, I'm a gay, I'm a lesbian, but that's a big problem for queer because since I'm a gay, you're a gay, but what's our difference? If there's no difference between you and I, then that is a big trouble for queer. So when we're talking about queer is kind of undefinable. It's all about identity, but it don't want to talk about identity. They don't want any identity. Yeah, that's queer.
So Jerry, why are you interested in queer and works related to this subject?
For me, people who are interested in humanities or social science, like all the issues they are concerned about or might be some kind of related to their life. For me, I put emphasis on feminism and like gay movement, and later on after I know what it means to be queer theory, I'm just engaging queer theory because somehow feminism and gay theory, that's kind of problematic as like what I just mentioned is kind of generalizing everybody, but queer we talk about difference. I think that's the most interesting part and the reason why I'm interested in queer theory. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any writer in Taiwan who you think does a great job in queer writing?
Okay, we finished with the queer part and we are now moving on to queer writing.
Yeah.
For queer writing, the best author that I admire is Lucifer Hong. If we put it in Chinese, her name is Hong Ling. She's now a professor in Shishin University and she belongs to the gender study program. And somehow I really enjoy her novels. I would say that her writing is queer novel because there's two features. First of all, it's about vampires. Second of all, it's about science fiction. Both of them is representative for queer theory because when we are talking about vampire, we talk about arrows, we talk about sex, we talk about gender. That is something which can blow away and break through all the category of what it means to be male and what it means to be female. There's an empire having sex with a man. There's a female empire having sex with a so-called female human. And as for the science fiction, when we are talking about queer, since we don't want any categories, science fiction is like the boundary of our body is opening. So when we're talking about science fiction, there's a concept called cyber, and which means that your boundary can get connected with each other and you can dispatch with it and then connect with another one again and again. So that's two feature of her writing. The two topics she's quite interested in, and this is a novel I'm just reading recently. That's her work like about published in the 1990s or 2000 or 2001. And as I mentioned, the two topics she's well doing at is about the content. But for queer, we also put emphasis on the form, which is the narrative, the wording. Because if you know what it means to be writing, somehow if it's too easy reading. It's not that interesting, you know, because when I'm reading Lucifer's word, her words is really you don't feel like at ease. What's that? You're not really you're not reader friendly, but that's cool. We don't need to be reader friendly. We need to be tough. She's just doing herself. She don't want to be defined. She don't want to be understood. But somehow she still have the eagerness to write. That is a quite queer one. You are always lingering between wanting to let others know and lingering between I don't want to let anyone understand me. That's her. Both of her form and her content really intrigue me.
So what would you say to this writer if you got a chance to meet her?
Honestly speaking, I already met her because I'm studying with her. I'm taking her courses about the cultural studies and photography studies in the Sparkshow University my junior years. And if now you ask me what would I like to stick with her, I would only say cool. That would be all. Believe me, cool would be all. I don't need to explain too much. You don't want to be understand. I can really understand her. That's the queerest way we got it. And maybe if you, radically speaking, if we want really to be queer, I will talk about her novel with her. I will say like I don't really enjoy your novel, but I enjoy her novel because I'm not going to identify with you. I'm not going to give you any credits about your writing. You be you, I be I. That's queer.
Jerry, now let's talk about LGBTQ movements in Taiwan. What do you think about them?
Okay, so we're done with the queer theory, and we combine queer theory with the writing and the author in Taiwan, and now we're moving on to queer with the Taiwan's issue about the same-sex marriage, which is quite popular within the LGBT group. I would say that LGBT and queer they serve in a supplementary relationship. Somehow, when the LGBT is struggling and fighting for their rights, they are overgeneralizing with each other. That they didn't find out difference with each other. That's good for queer. That's good for them to know what it means to be queer. But LGBT is also beneficial to queer because when we're talking about queer, we don't cooperate with each other. We are individualism. We are heroism. But we are always flying in the sky. We won't make somehow we won't face the music. Am I saying we? Not we. I won't face the music. So LGBT is good for queer because queer need to tactically identify with each other that they can move on and break through the social norm. Otherwise, they are always flying in the sky. So if you ask me what is the beneficial part for LGBT to know queer, I would say that it's just a warning to tell you should make difference with each other even though you got the same goal. And you also need to suspect, is it proper or is it necessary for me to cooperate with you? Am I that engaging what it means to be marriage, what it means to be equality? Are there any something different, something we need to tell? But because that's queer, you know, we always doubt the group, the society, the eternal goal. Yeah.
So Jerry, is there any suggestion for the government to address current LGBTQ issue?
Rachel, no clue please. I'm not with them. Queer is not with them. For the government, I would like to mention about two things. First of all, would you mind to quickly legalize same-sex marriage because I'm really tiresome with all of the gay and lesbian love. Love is the biggest. I don't talk about love. And second of all, I would say that's all because I'm an anchorism. I don't believe in the government. Yeah, weird.
That's all? Oh, okay. Thank you, Jerry, for being our guest today. Thank you so much.